It's Remembrance Sunday, and I've just got back from a service that was held outside our local parish church. I live in a village, and it was the main parish church that we used, and 3 villages came together to stand and to remember those that had given their lives in the service of this country. It was a moving service, the names were read, and I was really glad that I had gone this morning to do that. I was thinking about those people, the names of those people that had been read out, and wondering what they would have made of the world that we are now living in 2020, what the young men who had died in the First World War particularly would have made of this world that we are now inhabiting, and all the things that are going on in it, especially in 2020, when we've had all of this coronavirus scare and the restrictions that have been brought in because of it, and of course just very recently the presidential election. Just yesterday we heard the results of that, and know that if you've been watching the news, you know that there's going to be that result is going to be contested. There's going to be litigation, there's going to be arguing about whether there was cheating, whether there was a conspiracy, what sort of thing has gone on. And so it's going to take rather a long time, I think, before the president is actually sworn in. And all of it, really, I was thinking about yesterday particularly, but today again, I woke up thinking about, how do we know what is fake and what is real? How can we tell from the news that we're reading, listening to, the things that we're seeing on the TV, the articles we might be reading in newspapers, or the various websites online that are giving us information? How can we distinguish between truth and lies, between reality and fake news? How can we know what is true? And I actually thought that it has become very difficult to sort the truth from the lie. It's very difficult nowadays to know what is right and what is wrong, because everyone has an opinion and everyone is sharing that opinion and everyone is claiming that their opinion is correct. And just yesterday, actually, as I was thinking about it, I was out for a walk and I was thinking about it all. And a verse that I had memorized right at the beginning of my Christian life came back to me. And that is Proverbs 3, 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. That's probably a familiar couple of verses to you, but it just really struck me yesterday as I was walking and trying to figure it all out. And I had been reading reports from journalists that I respect and people that I respect saying one thing, and then other reports from other papers, other journalists that I respect saying something totally different, and different politicians saying different things. And even with the COVID stuff, the COVID-19, the statistics, one set of statistics from one person and another set of statistics from some other scientific place, and all of it so confusing and so liable to cause us to move into a great anxiety and a fear and kind of a chaos in our minds, because we can't find our way through. And so that verse yesterday that God brought to my mind was such a relief. It was such a wonderful verse to remember, that if I trust in the Lord with all my heart, if I trust in him with all my heart, he will make my path straight. All my heart, the scriptures use the word heart very often. And in the Old Testament, it doesn't mean the organ that beats in your chest. It doesn't even mean the feelings or the emotions that we talk of as emanating from there. It's the center of our being, the will, the control center of our being. Trust in the Lord with the whole of your will, with your control center, with the command center of your being. Trust in him with that. Don't lean on your own understanding. Don't try to figure it out for yourself. Don't trust even your own understanding, for you have a limited understanding. You don't know everything. You can't possibly know everything. You don't have every scrap of information about every situation. So you are not able to correctly and fully assess the situations that you're thinking about. So understanding that, don't lean on your own understanding. Trust that God knows all things, that he works all things after his own purpose, that he will cause all things to work together for your good because you love him and you are called according to his purpose. That's Romans 8:28. Trust these things, submit your will to him. Give him your will, give him your thinking, give him your feeling, give him your doing, and trust him in it all. And what's this promise? He will make your path straight. He will enable you to plot your course through this life. He will enable you to walk a straight line. He will enable you to leave the workings out of everything that is going on around you to him as you submit yourself to his will for your life. Think about, what is his will for your life? I mean, the scriptures tell us that he created a work in advance for us to do. That's Ephesians chapter 2, verse 10. And Jesus tells us to go into all the world and make disciples, teaching them to do all that I command you. And lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. That's Matthew 28. So we know that God has a work that he has for us to do. He prepared it in advance for us. So we have something to do. We know because Jesus told us to go and make disciples. And the way that we make disciples is that we proclaim the gospel of the grace of God. You and I, we know we have a work to do. In these days of confusion and chaos, we have a work to do, and it is a bright and shining and important, the most important work to do that there ever could be. You and I have a ministry of proclaiming the glory, the excellence of our Father who called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. You and I have been entrusted with the very word of God. We have the mind of Christ, 1 Corinthians chapter 2 will tell us, and Christ has become for us wisdom from God. So we have everything we need. The only thing we are asked to do is to not trust our own, not lean on our own understanding, but to trust in God with all of our heart, as I say, with the center of our being. Make choices that you will trust God to see you through. Make choices that you will not spend a moment of fear or anxiety. You will not allow the enemy's arrows of fear to come in and hit your soul. You have decided to follow Jesus, and you are believing that he will make your path straight, that he will walk this path with you, and that he will be waiting at the end of the road. Oh, I was so encouraged yesterday, so encouraged. And again this morning, in this present darkness, in these times of great chaos, I can know that my God knows everything, that he knows the end from the beginning. I can trust in him with all my heart. Lean not on my own understanding. In all my ways, acknowledge him in my thinking, my doing, my speaking, in everything. Acknowledge that he is God and he will make my path straight. I pray that you take some time in that verse, Proverbs 3, well, those two verses, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6, and that you find the joy in there that I have found and the peace.